It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized in this. Get right on it, Chief.
Captain Skinner, but Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Wanna be held tight? Well, now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT.
Heat of the night on TNT.
Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have 'em some fun, 'cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT.
Hubba, 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 hubba. Heat of the night on TNT.
Yeah.
Quarterback to Hollywood, to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX. This is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody crabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank Almighty!
You're
listening to the Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry, No Retreat. I'm old Alan.
You woke me up. Sorry about that.
I jumped out of your chair. Did I come in hot?
Just dozed off for a second there.
I came on hot, didn't I? I mean, you jumped those old headphones went sideways on you. Glasses went down by your chin. Yes, yeah, sorry about that.
What
Pearl.
was that?
Anyway, folks, welcome live Monday here from the studio KXEX. We got Big Jeremy up there in the production room there, just doing about 15 different things and doing them all well. Extraordinary.
Kind of.
And we got Bobby the Pearl, Bullet Bob Leoni here, and yours truly, your humble host. And just want to say to y'all, thank you again as we approach the end of the year. I don't know how many shows we're going to be doing live between now and the 1st. I'm thinking we're going to do at least one. But just in case, I just want to wish you all Merry Christmas right off the bat, Happy New Year, and just hope it's the best one that you've ever had. Pearl, this time of year, it's joyous, but it's also a mixture, because you can't help but think about the ones, and I'm not trying to make a downer here. I think I just speak for everybody. It's an emotional time because, our Savior was born, and you want to try to keep, that perspective rather than, trying to buy that budget-busting gift, or it's not going to be a good Christmas for our grandkids running around like, you do that. But there's people that you miss. That person who used to be at the table is not with us anymore. That's gone on.
The empty chair.
Absolutely. But, I just want to tell folks out there, at least for me, just lay all of that. We're going to talk about politics, all right? You have to, because it doesn't take a break during the holidays. But my encouragement to you is, it's important. Be knowledgeable. Be interested in it. It's our obligation, our responsibility to not only to this generation, but our kids and grandchildren to be interested and be informed. But don't let these things own you. Don't let them steal your joy. We're not the only generation that has gone through tough stuff. Talk to them with the Depression era, like our folks, went through. You want to say a few words about that or not? I mean, that's not something we had in our notes that I saw last night.
What,
but
the Depression era?
Well, no, just
that was depressing.
Just not letting this politics. I mean, there's so many things that you could talk about that could consume you. Exactly. The border, the war, the inflation that's busting the budgets of people. And they go, oh my gosh, we have a crappy Christmas because I can't afford the new PlayStation for a kid or something. And
well, you just have to put a lot of that aside for the time being.
Tough to do.
It's tough to do when the dollar is now worth 20 cents. But you have to do that in certain occasions like this, because like you say, if you let this politics and all of these things that are happening daily, if you get involved with that stuff and get consumed with it, consumed. It'll eat you up.
Man, it will.
I mean,
I know people.
I do too.
They can't set it away and even go do anything. See a movie or
you can't put it aside, and you really need to do that. You need to put it aside, at least for the time being, through the holidays. Get through that.
Absolutely.
And think about all of the great things that you have in your life, your family.
Things you're thankful for.
Things you're thankful for.
Appreciative.
Your friends. Yeah. And really emphasize that. And, go bowling. Go play golf.
Yeah.
Well, watch out, because if I'm on the golf course, you're
talk about being consumed.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
All I know is that I'm such a bad golfer, the other team has to wear a hard hat when I'm on the golf course.
Been known to slice a few, have you?
So but my point is, relax, kind of try to put this politics aside. As you say, it's going to be there today, tomorrow, and
we're going to talk about it today
and forever. Oh, we are.
Yeah, but I'm going to be thinking part about the border situation, the other half thinking about Santa Claus. They say you can't hold two opposing thoughts in your mind at the same time. We're going to prove that to be wrong. They actually say you're a little bit off if you can do that. I can do it. But, before we get going, who helped me, take a step back, take a breath, and go, wow, yeah, I'm going to set these things aside for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes somebody will do something for you. They can say a kind word to you or whatever, or talk about a subject, and you find yourself, okay, going with that. And the next thing you know, you're not thinking about that thing that was consuming you all day and last night and the night before. Again, using the political situation and the difficulties and the challenges facing our country and the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you just get crazy on that. But I got Laura Fisher. I hope you're listening. What a friend she has become, and
thank you, Laura.
Not only to this show, me personally, and gosh, she sent.
Thank you for this.
I'm thankful to all the people that watch this show. You're like family. This Autry's Army thing, I take that very serious. As I said, there's no such thing to me as strangers. It's just brothers and sisters we haven't met yet. I may never meet many of you personally, but we know each other through this show, and I love y'all. I really do. And you're my brothers and my sisters, and I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and tell you how much I appreciate you and thankful for it. As Bob has said, we need to think about those things, and you're right up there in the most important things, along with my faith, my family, and my friends, and you all. I consider my friends there. But Laura sent sent us all these, the crew here, the team, the KXX, Autry's Army team, a little Constitution and Declaration of Independence, along with a very, very nice card for the whole team.
Very nice.
Thank you so much. And Laura also sent me this with a letter, and I'm not going to get in to what's in here. I think it's a pretty personal thing, and it's just unbelievably humbling that Laura, maybe somewhere down the show after I've talked with her, I could share with this. But what I'm trying to say is it just brought me to tears, and it made me stop thinking about all this stuff and just think about that we're all tied together in the heart, and that there's so many things that we have in common in terms of the things that matter in life, and loving one another, even if we haven't met each other, is at the top of the list. Because when Christ came, he in fact, there was this time in the Bible where his mom and his family came to get him. He was speaking at some venue. I forget where it is in the Bible, but he was with a bunch of people there, and a messenger came in and said, "Hey, Jesus, your family's up there. They want to see you." And he said something very pivotal if you're a Christian. He didn't say, "I don't care about my mother. I don't care about my." Far from it. It's obvious he had great love for his family. But he said, "My family is here with these people he had just met." And he wasn't going to leave them. He's probably in the middle of something very important. He wasn't going, "Hey, hold that thought. Let me go out there and mom's called me." He put these people that he hadn't met yet on the same level as his blood family. And I think that's a lesson for us. I think we all have those things in terms of family. And she gave me a gift that I just said is just completely humbled, and has to do with her family and how she considers me in some way spiritually part of her family. So, Laura, back at you. I feel like you're part of the Autry family, or all part of the family, children of God. Just thank you for that. And like I said, I'm not going to, but for me, personally going to right now, not trying to be mysterious or anything. It's just, I think that's the appropriate thing. I wanted to say thank you for that. And that's something that will stay between my family and your family. And I just appreciate it. Okay. And all y'all that listen, thank you so much. This little train that could, called the Old Alan Autry Show, continues to grow. Continue to get passengers to jump on. We don't even charge for tickets on the train.
It's a free ride, baby.
It's a free ride. Hey, we're going to start off with you.
What?
What you have on your mind today that we can discuss in this rapidly dwindling hour that we have here. It goes by fast, this thing. Man,
what's on my mind?
Well,
That'll
that
take
is
about 3 seconds.
I am living in the danger zone here by asking you that.
Well, you want to talk? We can talk a little thing about football, can't we?
Absolutely.
You know a thing or two about that.
It's free for all Monday. All the shows from here till the first of the year are free for all.
We want to congratulate the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Yeah, baby, go Dogs!
The Bulldogs on national TV, primetime national TV on Saturday. We're at the L.A.
Jimmy Kimmel
Bowl to play Washington State, and the Bulldogs played a great game and beat Washington State 29-6.
Dismantled them
in the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl, and they have now won 9 straight games since they started the season at 1-4. So kudos to the Bulldogs. Big win. Great job by all. And I think, and I said this a couple of weeks ago to somebody, that Jeff Tedford should have been named Coach of the Year in the Mountain West. He was not. Andy Avalos from Boise State was named Coach of the Year.
Really? When did that happen?
Before the end of the season. A couple of weeks before the end of the season.
Tell me the truth. Did you give up on the Dogs?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I'm such a front runner. I did. I'm ashamed. Well, when they lost to USC, I thought Hayner was done. I mean, that was a gnarly looking injury. So I think he's done. They're 1-4. The backup played his rear off, but obviously not at the talent level of Hayner.
Yeah.
Hayner's
a difference.
Yeah, and Fife's a good quarterback. But I'm thinking, even though the defense is playing well, I'm done. So I just had, that's terrible, isn't it?
Well, Dave.
To be a front runner like that and just write them off.
Well, Dave Ramirez.
But I'm not going to be one of those that go, they're 10-4. Everybody wants to get on bandwagon. I stayed with the Bulldogs through the thick and thin. Well, I was there with them when you weren't, buddy.
Well, that's what I can say. Because I've been a season ticket holder for 30-something years.
We're a front-running town, though.
Dave Ramirez.
Come on, it's time for a little sports therapy as a community. If we're winning, we pack those stadiums.
Yep.
But saying that Bulldog fans are true through thick and thin, most of us in Fresno, you go down south, it doesn't matter. I mean, you get these SEC teams. I mean, literally, honest to goodness, Alabama could be 1-9 going in against Georgia. They will pack that stadium.
95,000.
Yeah. They do. The Packers, it doesn't matter. The Green Bay Packers with Green Bay. I played there. We weren't very good in every game.
Well, my good buddy Jim Emerson is a University of Michigan, and he kind of chuckles when we get 32,000 out at Bulldog Stadium. they get 101 at the big house in Michigan. So.
You know the problem with that?
What?
I'm going to step on a lot of toes here locally. A lot of my friends, they have out here, folks, what they call red seat holders, and they're the prime tickets at the football stadium. Okay, and they were bought long time ago by these families and corporations, mostly families, buy these red seats, and they're old people like me, and they don't go.
They are now.
They don't. Well, they don't go to the game. They just buy it because they want to have these tickets, and then they decide they don't want to go. They're going to watch it on TV, or just they didn't want to go. So you get right in the middle, 50-yard line, these red seats that historically, even when the Bulldogs were winning, they're half empty. And I always, you look at all these other colleges, they have these college kids with their face painted, all this craziness stuff. They've been partying since the 3 days before the game, and they're out there and they're going crazy. And then you look up there, and I said, why don't they take those seats? And if you're not going to go, give them to the university and let them hand them out to some crazy guys.
Yep. Well, and those seats from a physical standpoint are so old now that have not been replaced. They're no longer red. They've been sun-baked pink. So they're really pink seats now instead of red seats.
That's the way to get some recruits.
That goes
That's the way to get somebody from Oregon. Well, I was committed to the Ducks until I saw the Bulldog Stadium.
Pink seats.
The pink seats got me. But anyway, congratulations.
Great job.
They're for real. And I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Okay.
They make it into the final top 25.
Oh, they should. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
do you think? I think it's going to be about 23, maybe 22.
They should. I would think so.
And that's big for recruiting.
9-0.
But you know what I found out?
9 straight wins. What?
I found out the other day. It was you that told me. I don't know.
Was it true?
Fresno State is not participating in that. They have this new college football game. They got rid of it. It was the most popular PlayStation game ever was college football. And they discontinued it because of some kind of technicality of the rights of the players and the schools, whatever. Some reason. Well, they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
And the players are going to make some good money on that, on their likeness and their image. But Fresno State's not participating. They did not sign up. The athletic director here said we're not going to, and he made some statement that really didn't make much sense.
Why would you not do that?
Why in the world would not? If you're a quarterback and it's between Fresno State and going to somebody where I can make a few bucks on my image, say I get hot and then I can't make any money off it, why in the world would you not, you know?
I didn't hear that, but it sounds like something Fresno State would do. Just because.
Well, I'm sitting there thinking, what could be one of the hidden reasons behind that makes sense? But, and I've always said, if something doesn't make sense, it's totally logical. Somebody's benefiting from it, and follow it, you'll find somebody's making money.
Follow the money trail.
So
That's usually how it ends up.
We'll have somebody, it's unfair to sit here and really hammer on the athletic director and the president without having somebody on. Jeremy, can you remind me that I have somebody on from Fresno State that can answer that question about why Fresno State is not participating in that?
He's hopping right on that. I can see that.
He takes notes. He's mental notes.
Oh, his mental notes. Oh.
Remember those we used to be able to take?
That was scary.
Now, if I don't write it down, it's nothing. And my to-do list the night before. Wake up. Number 2, take feet from bed, put on floor. Boom. 3, rise to a standing position.
4, attempt walking.
All right, folks, hold on. Oh, gosh, we got to take a break here. We have to take a break the last couple of shows here. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about this January 6th committee. They had their last meeting today. The miniseries, the Netflix miniseries, otherwise known as January 6th, coming soon, but they decided to have a little end-of-the-year wrap-up show with the highlights of the January 6th show. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat with Bullet Bob. We'll be right back.
They had the list of charges that they were going to.
We also have Lane Holt and Laura Fisher on the line for when we get back in.
All righty. Go to them.
Anyway, four charges.
Criminal referrals.
Criminal referral to the DOJ. Yeah, to the DOJ.
You should rename that department.
What?
Department of Justice for some. For
maybe.
Some. Department of Justice for one particular party.
Oh my! Well, we got
lock them up. Lock them up. I mean,
4 more pies. 4 more pies.
I'm going to be really honest. It's more of an indictment of me than him. It's obvious when you drill down the silliness, but you see this guy Merrick Garland, how he acts.
1 minute.
So pompous, and his name is Merrick Garland. Just kind of fits somebody that's egotistical, thinks he's better than everybody else, above the law. Mr. and Mrs. Garland, why did you name it Merrick?
The scary thing
I don't mean that. Mrs. Garland, you're out there. I'm sure you're very proud of you.
The scary thing is he's in charge. That's what's scary.
Is he really?
Well,
or is it Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
30 seconds?
Yeah, they're in charge. I'll get you. That's why they're so quiet. They don't have to get out in front. They got them by Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Oh, they're scared to death of those ladies going off on them. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Need a longer spot.
Far left woke people can really.
5 seconds.
They know how to protest.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat. Little Glenn Campbell. Got to shut that off before Facebook shuts us off. Somebody play a song too long and it's just my lips moving. Nobody can hear it. Which is what about 50% of the people like. When my lips stop moving. Okay, the Department of Justice, Pearl, has made a criminal referral today in their season-ending wrap-up show where actually, folks, there's no kidding. They did highlights of the first, 8, 9 shows. I don't know how many meetings they had. In case you missed it. I mean, they hired this Hollywood producer from ABC. That's how they do. That's the formula. You have a series, Jimmy Fallon or whatever, or talk show, and then at the end, you have, and usually in a holiday season, the end of the year, you have this this highlights of. They actually did that.
Retrospective.
The retrospective highlights.
Highlights of the year.
But they got criminal charges, and I don't know what they are. I think one of them may be he was charged with being too orange. I think that's one of them. That might stick. I
think he'd be guilty of that.
I think he might get stuck with that. And another charge I think is overly rude. Okay, so that could. And the one is ill-advised tweets.
Yeah,
I think
a lot of those.
He might do some time for that.
A lot of those.
And what was the other? Obstruction of justice was what they were trying to get him on.
Yeah, I think that was one of them. I don't know. I didn't write it down. They showed them up there on the screen. We've got 2 screens up here showing news, but
what a joke! 4
criminal charges, and they're referring it to the Department of Justice.
What a joke! Come on, and people that even hate Trump, and there's half the country out there, they have a deep disdain for this gentleman. And I'll be the first one to say he didn't care whether you liked him or hated him, and he in some cases encouraged that. But you look at his policies and you see how life was before Joe Biden under the Trump era and the policies. You got to be able to say, at least I think you got to separate it. Personality from policy. If Joe Biden would have come in and inflation would have went down and he would have got out of Afghanistan the right way, if he would have secured the border, if he would have cracked down on crime, let me tell you, I have no problem in saying, "Atta way to go, Joe." I'm totally 100% serious. You're saying, "Oh, Alan, you're dying a wacko conservative." Well, look at my record. Just if you know anything about me, that's not true, because what happens is you become a public figure without a home. You go over there, the Republicans aren't going to slap you on the back because if you didn't take that litmus test, and if you even thought about working with the other party to get something done, you're done. Republican Party. Democratic Party, same thing. I guess my 8 years as mayor, Pearl, you learn that you can't get anything done unless you have, I guess, a fascist socialist system where you have the power to do whatever you want to do, regardless of what the people want. But in a diverse country, a free country, you're going to have to get people to compromise and give up some things. They call Ronald Reagan the great compromiser, the great communicator, because he could get some Democrats to come on board. In fact, it was the Democrats that gave him the biggest election victory in the history of elections in his second time around. But what do you think about that? I just think this January, the reason I brought that up, even unless you're on the far left and you are completely wacko in the twilight zone of politics in the woke world, you've got to know this January 6th thing. It was an absolute joke.
I'm sure most rational, clear-thinking people do, but they don't care. As long as it comes down to getting Trump somehow, some way, somewhere. Yeah. And and I'll state here again, I am not a Donald Trump fan.
I know you're not.
I'm really not. But I think all Americans should be concerned at the way this thing was handled, the way this committee got put together, and the outcome that they were looking for before their first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about last week.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just sitting here thinking, listen, I'm just kind of reacting to it because I'm very fearful of this country. Too many people are letting their hate overcome or be a priority over their love of country.
Common sense and good judgment.
Their love of country. I'm sure well, I love my country. Well, I think you hate Trump more than you love your country. And I think it's true to some on the right. I think you hate Biden, although he's done a much better job of destroying the country and getting us going the absolute wrong direction in just about every policy decision you can make. I mean, as Barack Obama said, don't ever underestimate Joe's ability to, what things up. And, but you look at it, you really, as you said, I think their hate, and that's why I think on this earth, hate is a more powerful emotion in most people than love. And you say you love your country. Well, do you love your country enough to somebody you don't like that's putting some policies in place, like historic funding for the highest level of funding for historic black colleges, was able to have policies that had the lowest unemployment rate for blacks, Hispanics, ever, had a secure border so we know who's coming in. Those are policies that got us out of needless wars where young people are getting killed left and right for a war we don't even know why we're in. I mean, you go on down the line. If you took him out of the picture and just said, who's doing this, you would say, no matter who you are, I like this. These are good policies for everyone, Democrat, Republican. But you say, well, by the way, Trump came up with that. Oh, God, they're awful.
Yeah. They will the left will never admit that those policies work.
And they would rather all of those policies go away and get rid of Trump. Even if it means inflation that destroys the budgets of the very poor, if it means loss of life in Afghanistan when you don't, withdraw, you retreat, you give up, you surrender, and you got, 4 of our servicemen killed that didn't have to be killed because of your policies. And you've got, that's very concerning to me when, because I have voted for people I did not like and supported people personally that but their policies. I played for coaches I didn't like, but dadgum, they were good coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of the Green Bay Packer players did not like Lombardi until after they retired and they realized all those things that he was championing and stood for: hard work, discipline, trusting your teammate, giving that extra effort. And they won championship after championship. Yep. And out of that team, out of 36 players, 31 went on to become millionaires because they took the and they didn't make much money back then.
No.
But they took those principles of hard work, discipline, respect, and applied them to life after football. And again, Trump can be his own worst enemy, and we're going to be talking a lot whether it should be Trump or DeSantis as the nominee. I tend to think it's Trump's had his time. He'll be a great guy to have on the sidelines, giving advice and all that. But it's clearly DeSantis in my eyes. But we'll be talking about that a lot later. Let's go to the phone lines. We got Laura Fisher. Are you there, dear?
Here.
Hey, ¿cómo está, amiga?
How you doing, darling?
I'm doing great. Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, all of that stuff, man. Thank you for the wonderful gift. I don't know if you saw the top of the show. I'm just so humbled. I can't even, and touched and moved every adjective you can think of and about the gift. And I just, I didn't share too much with it because I thought it was just too personal, too moving for me. And quite honestly, I'd probably get 3 or 4 words out and I'd be bawling like a baby, and John Boehner's done enough of that for both of us. But thank you for that. And I appreciate you so much. You said you got a solution for Congress to work together.
I do.
I do. You go ahead.
I think that we have to have a national referendum to require them to go back to the way it used to be in Congress when Congress was first created. I really think that if we have both these parties who know they might get the snot beat out of them if they don't go negotiate with the other side, it might actually motivate them to do so. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, Mitch McConnell says, no, we're not going to do that. And then he looks over and looks at Cory Booker and thinks, maybe he knows Kung Fu. Maybe I should talk to him.
Mm-hmm. I tell you.
They're beating the crap out of each other. And the other advantage to this is, here's the second advantage, is that that we're going to get new blood in there because every 2 years, somebody like Matt Gaetz is going to be like, no, I can't run again. I got hit in the head 8 times. I've had 8 concussions. I chipped a tooth. I'm done.
Yeah.
So we'll get new blood in there. And then thirdly, if they're beating the crap out of each other on a daily basis, C-SPAN will become the #1 channel in the country because people are going to want to see people get beat up, and they're going to have to learn stuff in the process.
I tell you, Laura, I can't tell you how much I agree with you. In fact, I use this analogy a lot. Tell me what you think of it. They always say, I'm tired of the parties fighting with each other. They always fighting. And I said, no, don't give them that credit. Don't dignify what they're doing. He said, what do you mean? I said, they're not fighting. Well, yeah, they are. I said, no, they're not. Here's what they're doing. Let's use that metaphor as a fight. Let's use a boxing match. They're a fight. What happens is the Democrat runs over to the CNN corner, sits on the stool. Okay, and the CNN, they got all the handlers, Jake Tapper, Anderson Cooper over there handling them. And then the Republicans runs over there to Fox, sits on the stool, and they got Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, and Jeanine Pirro over there, the handlers, the cut people there. And they just yell at each other. They never come out to the middle of the ring and have that bell ring and really debate so we, as you just said, can sit there and say, you know what? That's a good point. That left jab there, I get that. They never do that. Because they're afraid.Ey're cowards. They won't get out there and do that. I'm with you 110%.
Fight to make them bare knuckle box in the middle of the chamber, and the first time somebody gets punched in the face, that's when they're going to be like, oh, maybe we should negotiate. They start punching people, I'm going to Congress because I'll be there and I will not.
Hey, well, that's happened in the past. That's happened in the past where there have been, back in the 1800s, and I'm sure before that, right after Congress is established, there have been incidences where senators and congressmen of differing opinions have actually gotten up and thrown fisticuffs. And one guy got caned. And I can't remember the specifics of it, but he got caned. He got knocked in the head, and the guy was out for like 6 months out of Congress because this guy
and that's what we need.
No.
Some chucklehead wants to stand up and say something stupid. Chuck Grassley needs to go over with his cane and hit him in the head once.
Yeah, you'd have to have weight classes, though, wouldn't you? You'd have to have weight classes and age classes.
Listen.
Well,
we could cut the budget. Listen, we could raise money to apply to the deficit. If we put a mud pit in and let AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene go at it, I don't think
yeah, but you can't put Marjorie Taylor Greene in with Nancy Pelosi. You'd have to give.
No, but AOC.
Oh, that's true. Who would you pick in that? Who would you pick on that one? Marjorie Taylor Greene or AOC?
Greene, she's that crap crazy.
Who? Marjorie Taylor? You pick her?
Oh yeah. She's nuts. She'd probably do some prison type stuff. She's very medieval.
See, I think AOC
could make a fortune off of that. Billions, probably. People would. I'd pay to see that.
See, funny. I think AOC would try to make a deal before the fight. Hey, Marjorie, look, let's just go out there and make it look good. And then when you get out in the ring,
AOC would be like, "Don't get my hair. Don't get my hair. I just got my makeup done." And Marjorie Taylor Greene would be in there to kill. It would be awesome.
Okay.
It would be epic.
Be great television.
How long does it last? Jeff Jordan versus Adam Schiff. How long does that UFC fight go at the minute?
About 4 seconds.
Really? Yeah.
That move is going to go down real fast.
Yeah, he'll suplex him in a hurry.
Well, wasn't Jordan a wrestler?
He won't. Oh gosh, yes.
But don't you think that people will start second guessing? Maybe I should talk to the other side. Even in your own party, Kevin McCarthy wants to throw punch Matt Gaetz so bad he can taste it.
I don't think so because Kevin's too concerned about his hair. He would not want to get his hair out of place. He lives in fear of that. I love Kevin, but that hair is.
And then he gets his hands on that gavel. He can just give little head injuries to that MAGA right every time they step up and say something stupid. Hit him once in the forehead. That'll be it.
Hey, have you seen that new Dana White thing that's coming out? It's called the slap fighting, where they stand face to face. That is horrible. I mean, they could do that.
That's brutal.
How about just slap fighting instead of going?
But it's all controlled. It's okay. It's all controlled.
Into American Gladiator. We can get our budget, our deficit down, and entertain people, educate them, and make these idiots work together one way or another.
Well, you know what?
Something needs to happen.
I started to say in all seriousness. No way I can do that now.
Well, at the end of the day, this is the thing that every single person needs to remember about America. we are a paradox in that when you're an American, it is paradoxical to be one because we have so many freedoms that no other country really has the ability to enjoy or exercise in the way that we do. And because of that, like, okay, they wrote the First Amendment, and I think that the reason that they wrote the Second Amendment, I think people are all wrong on that. As soon as they said, wait a minute, we're going to let everybody say whatever they want, they all need to be armed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, it's not going to go down well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
It means that you have to accept as an American, number one, every day of your life, there's a good probability you're going to be offended.
Mm-hmm.
And number two,
and you're not in a free country. You're not supposed to be executed for that or thrown in jail.
One day you're going to be offensive to someone, so you have to defend the speech that offends you, so nobody can come for you when your time comes.
You know, just on what you're saying there, I just saw it up on Fox News. An Iranian actress who supported the protesters has been arrested in Iran. I mean, it's just what you're talking about. You know, people, I think in this country, people just take for granted the freedoms and liberties that have been fought so hard for.
Why?
You know,
because
sounds like a cliche, but it's true.
One of the reasons why I think, and it breaks my heart because I can't say that for my kids and my grandkids because I've instilled in them. But my grandparents were Depression-era people. They were children of immigrants who were literally starving to death in Ireland and came here with nothing and started over. So I was raised to believe that this is the greatest country in the world, period. End of story. Yep. You get a fair shot. Doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have in your pocket. My two grandfathers got off that boat. They started with nothing.
Yeah.
My grandfather retired a multimillionaire in 1967 at the age of 59 because of hard work, because of this country.
The American dream.
That's the way I was raised.
The American dream.
And my grandfather taught me at a very young age, Americans are loud, outspoken, offensive, and we're armed. Deal with it. That's the way it is. And if you try to come for our freedoms, I don't care, domestic or foreign, Americans will cross a frozen river and kill you in your sleep on Christmas. We've done it before.
You know, let me ask you this, Robert and Lauren, listeners, viewers. Why do we insist almost in every other venue that communication and talking things out are universally good? When your marriage gets in trouble, what do your friends tell you, whether they're Democrat or Republican? They say, have you gone to counseling where you guys can talk it out about your problems and see if you can find some meet in the middle? They say meet halfway, find some compromise. You have a corporation that's dysfunctional. 9 times out of 10, you find it's lack of communication. People have stopped talking with one another on how to keep their business successful. They don't get in there and say, hey, what are your political beliefs or this and that? Sports teams. You look at a team and go, man, they're just not playing together. And I think what a situation comes to mind to me is the Tampa Bay situation with Tom Brady and Antonio Brown. Now, 2 polar opposites. Yet Brady did his best. I'm not a big Brady fan, but he did his best to get to communicate with Antonio Brown to help him be part of the team. Me being part of a team in NFL, I know this to be true. You get players on the team that you would not hang out with in terms socially, but you had to work together. That was your job. That the fans, the organization, the team expected you to communicate on plays, how to run plays, how to get because you weren't just playing for yourself. You're playing for the team, you're playing for your city, paying for people whose jobs are on the line. Why do we not insist that our elected officials work together? We actually say if you do work together, Democrat with that Republican, Nancy Pelosi, if you ever pick up that phone and call Kevin McCarthy and say, listen, we need to work together to end this lack of communication and this dysfunction in this country because we're going down fast. Why, if Jim Jordan, why doesn't he call, again, Adam Schiff, whatever? We let them do what they've done because it's easy. It's easy to just sit back and fight and criticize. It's hard to get together with people you don't like and do the right thing. But, Reagan and Newt Gingrich did it. You get down the history. JFK and the Republicans did it. Roosevelt and the Republicans did it. Huh? Go ahead.
It's going to come down to the electorate. I mean, we talk about this being the worst moment in our country and so forth. I can tell you without question, there have been past generations that have said the same thing. I mean, we had a civil war.
Yeah.
We've been through 2 world wars, and people were very, very divided. The civil rights movement, all of it. There was such divisiveness. But here's the thing: politicians are. Well, I'm not going to say what I want to say because I can't say it on air. But basically, what it comes down to is they go whichever way the wind blows. And if you look at statistics now, what always ends up happening is the electorate, it's us, that always end up writing the ship.
Exactly.
The combination between our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, the way that our laws are written, there is no possible way that any president is going to be able to actually take our rights from us because of the process that has to be done to remove amendments. Right now, the independent party is growing.
Absolutely.
Every single day. It went from 19% 20 years ago, 19 to 41% of the electoral.
I'm an independent. I know.
Now.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen? We're going to see more split ticket, just like we did in the midterms. We saw all these split tickets. And the reason why is because independents are not going to be beholden to one party or the other. And eventually, these idiots are going to catch on.
I hope so. I hope you're right on that. And you said
it's not going to happen, but it is going to happen because people are getting fed up. They're tired of it. They're tired of both sides. Both of them talk on both sides of their mouths and don't do anything.
I agree with you. Robert, let me ask you.
48 years, for crying out loud. 48 years. Here we are, same argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the thing is,
and nobody wants to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you said, and Robert and Laura, like your thoughts on this. You said something that was very interesting. You said that the politicians are going to, go the way the wind's blowing. I think the wind has stopped blowing. The right and the left have their agenda defined, and one of the core principles is you do not mix and talk to the other side about anything. Okay? And the politicians that I've seen, what I've noticed is they will instinctively go the easy way. They have to be forced to go the hard way. And like you said, the
path of least resistance.
Right. To work with the other party to force, I get a lot of trouble even now. Laura, Robert, listeners, I get in trouble now for saying Joe Manchin did a great thing by standing in the way of that huge spending bill. Got defeated. He was the darling of the Republic. But then when he didn't do what they wanted him to do on the infrastructure bill, he's horrible. You got to get him out of there. Vote him out of there. And I'm going, wait a minute. This is the same guy.
The people that's responsible for the high gas prices that we have right now. In case you didn't know that.
What's that now?
Did you know that?
What's that?
Joe Manchin is one of the people who is single-handedly responsible for the prices that we have been
listen, I that may be true, but here's my point. No politician is going to make the right decision every single time. You can say, I would not vote for Joe Manchin, but at least tip your hat to him saying, over there, Joe, good job. Over here, not. Laura, I tell you, if you even say, Joe, good job over there, you are toast. You are a member of the woke community. That's why I'm an independent. And I said, listen, because you know what I remember? When I first saw this was during the Clinton administration. When Clinton lost the House, Senate and the House by a wide margin. And he said, the era of big government's over. He says, okay, I'm going to start working with you, Newt. Okay. You know what Dick Armey said? Remember Dick Armey? You all remember Dick Armey? He was a big voice in the Republican Party. I think he was a senator or congressman, but he was on all the talking head shows, the face of the Republican Party with Newt Gingrich. They asked him what he thought about Clinton, saying the era of big government's over. You know what he said? He said, he stole our ideas. He stole our ideas. instead of saying, I wanted to go through, I wanted to go,
I'm like treating them like third graders.
I wanted to go through the TV and grab this guy. I'd say, why don't you say, yeah, maybe he's finally wising up. That's a good decision. Now we got to hope he continues to make those good decisions, President Clinton. Way to go. Now you're seeing the light. And it showed me, and he got no criticism for saying that he stole our ideas. He didn't get, and that's just, and you know why? They said, what do you say about Republicans? Because as a Republican, I hold us to higher standards. That's why. No, I'm not going to vote for some dude you put out there that's a doofus because he's got an R by his name or her name. I'm not going to do that. I believe you hold yourself, your family, your people close, anything that you're a part of, any club, any organization, you hold yourselves to a higher standard. Otherwise,
Alan,
don't criticize.
Right now, we have 535 mean girls. That's what we have.
Boy, you can say that. I can't. You can. I hear.
I am done politically correct.
How do I respond to that without getting canceled?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lord, Robert, what do you think?
Well, we know that these folks have to get together to try and compromise on something, but I just think that the gap is so wide anymore that I don't know if that'll ever happen.
But see, Pearl, that's their exit route. That's their thing when we say
I
that.
know. So what does it mean? Are they all cowards? Well, that's a possibility.
No, you do like Laura says. You make them go home and fight them. Get in the UFC. Start.
I mean, I'd love to see. I think that'd be #1 show on TV.
You know what? You have to find out. Then that way, too, the American public will know what they're actually passing or fighting about in Congress. So we would have a more informed electorate. We would have Congress actually scared, which is what we need. We need them scared to death to walk in there every day because they don't know if they're going to be beaten to death by Chuck Grassley and his cane or what's going to happen. They don't know. And then we're going to get new people in because only so many, some of these people, they're going to get beat on a regular basis because they're complete idiots. And they're only going to stay there 2 years because, 8 concussions and a chipped tooth, that's going to lead to some serious problems down the line.
All right, first of all, I have to do a little disclaimer. We're not advocating this show for physical violence.
I am advocating.
Okay? And we're not advocating for that at all.
The opinions or views of Laura Fisher.
Yeah, the opinions on this show from our listeners are not necessarily the views of the hosts.
Or this station. Although they're close.
Because the Alan Autry show is the place where wokeness is killed and eaten.
The opinions are close to what we think.
Oh, God. This is the holiday season. All right, let's sing a little. You know what? Well, you know what? We got Lane. Laura, we got Lane on the line here. I just saw that. I want to give a real update on her son. So, hey, call back again.
Laura, thank you for the
love you, Laura.
God
bless you.
Very kind.
God
Thank you
bless
so much.
you. Let's go to Lane. Lane, are you there?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry I saw you late. We got a couple of minutes here. Give us an update on your boy. I just see
he has got a year and 1 month sobriety.
Oh my goodness! Hey, that is a big milestone. Year milestone.
That is awesome.
We'll give him a big old hug, right, Pearl? From us here and Jeremy and Guillermo and everybody here
That's
at
outstanding. He deserves a medal for that. That's awesome.
My goodness, that is some of the best news. That made my day.
And and you've been standing by his side the whole time, Lane. So give yourself give yourself some credit on that one too.
Yeah.
Pretty good Christmas present, huh?
No, it is.
Yep. Good for you. Good for him.
Had in a long time, without drama.
Oh,
there you go.
That's beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. Peaceful
Roll
Christmas.
Tide.
Oh, yeah. And check your emails. I sent you a joke because I know you and Guillermo both.
I will do that.
What are you saying? I'm not going to like it?
Oh, Guillermo.
Yeah, you're going to like it, but you and Guillermo both are going to like it.
Okay.
It sounds like something that both of you would tell.
That sounds good. Well, I tell you, Lane, thank you
Great
so
news.
much
Thanks for the update.
for calling in. Tell him I'm so proud of him and just keep it up because you know what? It just keeps getting better and better.
Yep.
That's the beautiful thing about sobriety. It just keeps getting better. You know?
Yeah.
And just Just
so I guess the word Merry Christmas really means a lot this year.
Oh man, absolutely,
baby.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I hope y'all have a very blessed Christmas.
Thank
you
you,
too,
Lane.
Lane. Call again. All right.
One of the great listeners and fans of this show.
She's in our fan hall of fame.
Is she?
I would think.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't you think, Pearl?
She's always listening to this show.
Yeah.
And so God bless her for that, and God bless her son.
Oh man,
for that. That's an effort. That's an effort.
They say 1 in 1,000 get away. So when you get away, when you like myself, when you're 1 in 1,000, it humbles you.
Yeah.
Because it was not just your effort.
Yeah.
God intervened.
Well,
God was there.
Well, you remember my story from before we went on the air.
Oh yeah. You got to share that one of these days.
Well, I might do that.
I mean, if you feel the calling to do that,
it's worth telling. I think just as an example.
Absolutely.
Just as an example.
Well, we got them teased now.
But I've never been an example.
Yeah,
I've
you
never
have
been
me.
held up as an example for too many things.
You know what? He's being very modest. This man to my right here has.
Oh, come on.
If you want to talk about a role model for honesty, integrity, of being there for you when the times are tough, getting that phone call when you need it, the text when you need it, bringing people. You talk about bringing people together. He gets a group of old cowboys, meaning Riverdale Cowboys, high schoolers, and which was a great era. We all talk about it. For us, it was.
Yep.
It was just really a golden era. We loved it.
Class of 70.
And about 10, 15 guys get over at George. We'll give them a plug. George's Restaurant over there on Blackstone.
Yep.
Great food. And the first Friday of every month, they meet over there. But they wouldn't have done it without Robert putting it together.
Well, I had.
When I call you Robert, you think my mom and your mom, don't you?
I do.
You can't help it.
Every time. That's why you surprised me this morning. I walked in the studio, folks, and he goes, "Hey, Robert." And I said, "What?
Who's Robert?
Well, yeah.
Mama?" I'm starting to look a lot like Mom, though.
Haas's mom used to always call me, "Now, Robert." And when she said that, you had to listen because she was going to say something important.
Well, her and Autry
but for her,
Robert's
but for you to say that was kind of weird.
Well, I referred to you that a lot because she did. Because we talked a lot about Robert.
Oh,
she goes, "Is Robert coming out this weekend to play?" I said, "I hope he is." Then I see you coming down that bike down that dirt road. We'd go out and play basketball for 5 hours and eat about a whole pot of chili beans. Remember those chili beans Mama used to make? Man, it was good.
Those were good.
Oh, man, thank you for tuning in, folks. I know you got a lot of Christmas shopping to do. Go out and do it. Be safe. God bless you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and just do your best and let God do the rest. And everything's going to be just fine. Bye-bye now.
Till then, who cares about the clouds?